Just 1 minute. Yeah, so we have studied till now Maven introduction. Next is a dependency scopes. Okay, we have studied this, right? Maven introduction, dependency scopes. We have studied this. And we have seen from Eclipse how we can create a Maven project. Right? So what we have done, we have selected Maven template. Then R key type quick start. Then once we get that, we get a project structure. Project like source, main, Java, next resources, property files, right? We get a pom.xml. This is the structure, right? Under source, under main. Then once compiled, you'll get target. In target, you'll have all the class files and all. I'll show you this also, target and pom.xml. Okay, so under Java, you'll have the files, the package, the files, Java files. Yeah, we forgot one more thing. What is it? Source. If you open test, right? If you open Maven project, you have to see another thing also. So source under main, under source, main and test are there, right? So that also we have to add. Okay, here also we'll have all the test files. So this one and test files. So here we'll have all the test files. That is testing test files like with the JUnit and all, right? Right. Now this is your basic project structure. Now what we'll do is, this is from Eclipse we created, but it is always better to know usage of Maven from command prompt also. From command prompt. That means when I say command prompt means when I open command prompt, right? So if I type MVN, I should get this. So usage of Maven, MVN means the shortcut for Maven. But how to set up Maven from the thing, like, see, when you open Eclipse, you'll get a plugin automatically. But from command prompt, if you want, you have to download Maven. So how you will download Maven is Apache Maven 3 download. Or Apache Maven, if you go, you can go to this website, you can click on download. So this is 3.8.5. Then you can click on this binary. So when you click on this binary, bin.j, okay, extract this J, you will get into one folder, Apache Maven, if you extract. I already did that. So I think somewhere, or if I see the path in my environment variables, properties. Advanced system settings, environment variables. Already I might have path actually here. Yeah. Maven is set up here in downloads Apache Maven. If you see here, I already set up the path. So once you set up the path, what you do is, so once you download Maven, so download Maven, Apache Maven. How will you download? So I'll just send you this link. You can just see this. Then extract the zip and set the path, set the Maven path. Okay, like this one. How will you set? You have to, once you set the Maven, so you have to set like, so if you suppose if you're downloading Apache Maven folder, so you have to set up till bin. So till bin you have to set up. So once you set up the path, then you open the command prompt and type MVN after setting up the path. Then you will see this this kind of thing. So that means Maven is set up properly. Okay. After setting up the path, okay, type MVN. Okay. If you see some response, so that means Maven is set up properly. Okay. So let us create actually the project. See, we know how to create the project from Eclipse, right? We have seen. But let me create the project from the command prompt using this Maven command. So for that, what I'll do is, so I have a command. Let me do that. So Maven archetype generate D group ID. See, to create a Maven project, what are the required things we have to have? Group ID, artifact ID, right? We have to give that one, right? And whatever the group ID and packaging, that is a Java package. Okay, in Eclipse we have seen that. Now suppose if you don't mention any package, it will take the group ID as the package. Whatever the group ID that you are given, that will be taken as a Java package. Now you see what I'm giving is Maven MVN, the command for creating a project. Okay. Now the Maven command for creating the project. MVN archetype generate D group ID is equal to this one. D artifact ID is equal to this one. And this is your quick start. We'll select the quick start, right? Remember in Eclipse, the same thing we are giving here. See, this -D indicates the system variables. Whenever we pass -D, it is a system variable. So what we are doing? MVN archetype :generate -D group ID equal to, this is the group ID, this is the artifact ID, and this is the template. Remember, we select the we used to select the template in the Eclipse, that one. And interactive mode false means directly the project gets created. It will not ask any questions further. So no interactions. When we type this command, so directly it creates a project. See, let me create the project. See, what I'll do is, let me create one project here. So let me create one folder. So where I'll go to this path, cd DevSecOps. Actually, this is not the code DevSecOps. I just put the folder like that. So mkdir, I'm creating one project, create test project. Sorry. No. Two folders it has been created, sir. Test project, right, sir? Now CD test project. So then what I do is I just take this command. Okay. I just type this. Now a project will be created. Maven project, just like how Eclipse create project. Now, if I go to this test project, I should see the project created. So see the artifact ID with a name demo Maven project has been created. Now you see source and you got a POM. See source and POM. SRC main Java COM test group. See you got some file also, some hello world program. So it's just like how Eclipse creates, even from this command prompt also, you get like that. Okay. So see, I can import this project in Eclipse also. See, once project got created, what I'll do is, let me open this. I can import this project also in Eclipse. How I'll do? Let me open the Eclipse. So what I'll do you see here? File, import, Maven. See existing project, select. So what I'm doing, see file, select import. Okay, select it. That means already the project is there, which you created from the command prompt or somewhere you have downloaded. You can import that project in Eclipse. File, import, Maven. Select existing Maven projects. Existing Maven project, select next. Browse. Okay. Where you have created? In the DevSecOps, right? Yeah, see test project. Just now I created this project, right? Test project. See automatically this will be coming. Now click on finish. Click on finish. So you see demo Maven project has come. You see here in the right, in the left side top. See my mouse cursor. So there you can see now. You see the project got imported in the Eclipse. So now I can easily. Why I have to import in Eclipse? It is easy for me to do the coding, right? In Eclipse I can easily do rather than doing in the Notepad. The coding. Okay, I mean just. So I can just type that in the, I can do the coding in Eclipse, right? I can import that project. So you created the project from the command prompt like this. Maven archetype like this. And after that, I imported the project. Everyone understood? Now, let us now see so given that you created Maven project, okay, you imported that to Eclipse, you created Maven project through command prompt. Imported the project to Eclipse and completed the coding of the project. Then Then what is the next step? Then we need to compile the project and build the project, right? That means when we compile the project, it will see any compilation error and then build the project. That is, it will make to the jar or var or something. So now what we have to study now is, we have to understand what is Maven build life cycle. This is very, very important. Okay. You know, actually the life cycle is divided into 3 parts. One is a default. Next is a clean. 3 is site. Okay. These are the 3 different parts of Maven build life cycle. Screen display very slow. I'm not sure actually. You have to check from your end. Everyone is able to see my screen, right? You have to check your internet problem. Everyone is able to see my screen, right? Yes. Yes. Okay then. So the life cycle is divided into 3 parts: default, clean, and site. Let us study about default life cycle. First one. Okay, default life cycle. So this okay, if I draw diagram perfectly, your Maven life cycle is divided into default, next is clean, next is site. Now in the default life cycle, these are called the stages. These are the stages. Now each stage has one face, as some faces. Now in this default life cycle, you have the first one is validate. Next, is compile. We'll see all these, okay? What is validate, what is compile. Next is a test. Next is a test. Next is a package. Package. Next is integration test. Integration test. Integration test. Next is, let me draw the boxes. I'll draw small box. Okay, I'll do quickly. Compile, because space is not sufficient. Compile. Test. package, next integration test, next verify, verify, next install, next deploy. Okay. Okay. I'm just drawing. Okay. So these are the phases. These are the phases. So if I take this whole as Mammon build life cycle, this is your Mammon build life cycle. So default clean site, and these are the things. Now, let me go to the default life cycle. In the default life cycle, first, what is that? First, what are the phases? Validate, compile, test, package, integrate, test, verify, install, deploy. Let us see one phase. So validate. Verifies whether the form.xml is valid or not. That is what it does. So form.xml is valid or not. That's what this one does. Validate means it verifies whether form.xml is valid or not. Next, compile means compiles the source code. Whatever you write the Java code inside the project. So for example, as I told you, now inside this project, you are getting the source code, right? In source main Java. Now it will compile this file. Okay. It is similar to the how you would compile like using Java C, similar to Java C command. How you do like that? It compiles. Okay, I mean this phase will do the compilation. Next, test is runs unit tests inside the project. That means, so in the project you will implement, JUnit, right? JUnit, right? So it will run the JUnit. So package, the product will implement JUnit, right? So this phase will execute or will run JUnit code. Next is package. Package as the source code, or we can say package is the compiled source code, compiled code. Once after compilation into an artifact, like a jar file or a zip file or a war file or an ER file. Whatever you get. See, now in this project, now we created only one simple file, but when we do the real time, we get a lot of files, right? And when we compile that, we get all class files. So compile will do compilation, and then package will package all the compiled code into one artifact, in one single bundle, jar file, okay, in a single bundle, okay. Next. And what is another phase is validate is over, compile is over, test is done, package is done. Next, integration test. So what do integration test tells is, he executes a test marked as integration. Actually, this is a different topic. Actually, we know unit testing. We know unit testing, that is JUnit. But there is one more testing called integration testing, where we'll use end-to-end testing. See, unit testing means we'll test only the part of the code. You have to just think. See, unit test will test only the particular piece of code. We have seen that in JUnit and all that. Like a method, okay, like a method. But integration testing, what it does is it tests end-to-end. End-to-end. Like suppose from class to class level. Say for example, say integration test, say, so for example, Java class is connecting to database, right? Is connecting to database and some other web service. So integration test will test the complete integration, how Java class is connecting to data. It will test whether Java class is connecting properly to database or not, whether we are getting the proper result or not, and Java class is connecting to the web service or not. Integration, that is what we call integration. So for example, say this is a Java class. Okay. And this is connecting to database. And this is connecting to web service. So Java service is connecting to database. It is whether that we'll test the end-to-end actually. Unit testing means only to end-to-end. For example, if you take REST API, there are some REST assured libraries, third-party libraries for integration testing. Okay, so there are some separate classes for integration testing. So even that are so they'll have some annotations for integration testing. So Maven in this phase will execute the integration testing also. Okay, so this is what. Next is verify. The next one is verify, right? After integration testing, verify. Verify, install, deploy. Okay. So what does verify does is, it checks whether the created package is valid or not. That means All the compile code is put in a jar or zip or var or file, right? So that is called package. The created package, which is called artifact. This is also called artifact. So it will check whether this is a valid or not, or is there any corrupted like that. Now, when I say install, installs the created package in local repository. So what do you mean by this installs the created package in local repositories? See, for example, I built the Maven project, right? With the SRC, main, Java. So you'll have all the files. Now what I do, I compile this and bundle this into one jar file. Okay. Now this will be done in the compilation phase. Compilation and packaging, both. Compilation and package. Compilation will compile phase and package phase. Compile will compile the files and package will bundle into one jar. Now, there is one more phase called install phase. What do install phase will do is, now whatever after packaging, it will install this jar file. It will install this jar file in the local repository. I told you local repository and remote repository. Local repository is present in your local system. This is present in your local system. That is in .m2 repositories. So that next time I create a new project, say this project is related to, you are developing a custom Excel report application. Okay, custom Excel report application, and you are having some libraries here. Okay, some to convert any data to Excel and all that. You have some custom libraries. Next time you are creating one more project in your local system. Next time you are creating a different project. And say this project needs some custom Excel libraries, which you created in the other project. Now, what you do now, you don't need to import third party. Already you developed this project and installed in your local repository. Now, what you do in this project is, in the pom.xml, you will add the dependency. You'll add the dependency related to this project. So related to this project, that is, you'll add the group ID, all the group ID, artifact ID related to this project, related to this, whatever you have created. Now, when you compile or build this project, what will happen? Now you're in pom.xml, it will see this dependency and it will fetch first from the local repository, right? I told you, right? So if it is not available in local repository, it will go to the central repository. So this dependency is your dependency, which you created, which is your custom project. So it will get from local repository and import your project. So that is how this will. I will show you this with an example so that you will understand clearly. Okay. I'll show you with an example. Okay. So this is how. So maven installs the created package in local repository. And what is the next part is after install? Deploy. So deploy deploys the created package to remote repository. So what is remote repositories? Instead of local repository, now we'll deploy to remote repository so that in remote repository, not only your project, even other projects also can access. See, you are developing a project, new project in your system, you are accessing this from the local repository. But in the remote repository, not only your project, some other projects also can connect to the remote repository and can get and download it. So to give the remote repository, we have to give the remote repo URL and all that. Okay, I'll show you that in the example. So these are the different phases of default lifecycle. Okay, this is what default. In the default, you have all these phases. Now, what is clean? Clean and site. Clean doesn't have any face. Default has faces, but clean and site doesn't have any faces. So let us quickly do that. What clean does is clean life cycle. So these are called stages. Okay, default, clean, and site are stages. Clean life stage, what it does is it is used to clean the dot class and dot class files, dot class and metadata generated by build phases. Okay. So this build, these phases compile and will create some dot class, right? Suppose if you don't want that, I want to create freshly. I'll clean the old class files. I'll clean the old class files and do that. I'll show with all the examples. Okay. Next, what is another site life cycle stage? Clean is done. Next is site. So what is site does is, yes, all the artifacts in the it will get deleted. Okay, in the target folder. Next is what is next one? Site. Site life cycle stage. So this is mainly used to generate Java documentation. Say documentation means, so we write so many classes, right? When we give this we write so many Java files, right? When we give this to a new person, that new person should understand what this Java file does, what this Java file does. So documentation is nothing but it generates a documentation. Okay, I'll show you this. So these are the build life cycle. Default, clean, site. In default, you have all this cleaning of all the class files. Site will generate the documentation. Build is this one only. Build is default one. Build is also called default. That is default. Okay, in the phases in the default lives. Because build means it is a combination of compilation, testing, everything, right? All that is a part of build. Okay. Now, in order to achieve these life cycle phases, how Maven will achieve these phases? In order to Maven will achieve or implement these phases through plugins. Okay, so Maven will achieve or implement these phases. I'll tell you that. I'll show you that site just okay. I'll show you with an example. Okay, just wait. How it generates a documentation. Okay, so Maven will achieve or implement these phases through plugins. Okay, so each plugin is associated with a particular goal. Each plugin. So we'll see for an example one plugin which is called Maven compiler plugin. Okay, Maven compiler plugin. So what actually the Maven compiler plugin will do is, see, in order to achieve all these phases in this, like so Maven will take a help of plugin. Actually, Maven will take up help of plugin in order to achieve all these phases. So in order to implement all these phases, this one, all the complete default life cycle, clean site and date, Maven will take help of plugin, various plugins. So there are so many plugins. We'll take a help of various plugins. So to achieve default, to achieve life cycle, build life cycle phases. Okay, so in that first we'll see one important plugin called Maven compiler plugin. So what Maven compiler plugin does? So this plugin is responsible to come. Okay, this plugin is responsible to compile the Java files, into .class files. So this is equal to running so Java C class name or file name. Okay, this plugin is responsible to compile the Java files into .class files. So mainly, so this plugin enables the compile phase. This one, this plugin enables this phase. So this plugin enables compile phase of default lifecycle. Okay, so plugin are components. These are components of Maven. So these are components of Maven. Okay, now how we can import this compiler plugin? Let us see now. See, what I'll do is, now you go to your demo project, open the pom.xml. Here what I do is, here I add a plugin. How I add? Like this, I add build plugins. Okay, then I'll say plugin. So here I'll add compiler plugin. So to add compiler plugin, I'll say group ID org.apache.maven.plugins. group ID, next artifact ID, Maven compiler plugin. I'll say like this, artifact ID. Even for plugins also are defined with compiler plugin with a group ID, artifact. These are standard plugins. These are all standard plugins. And versions, you have to check in your internet what is the latest version. So what I'll do, Maven compiler plugin version. Okay. If I go here, the latest version is this one, 3.10.1. Okay, this is your org dot. That's what I am adding here. So org dot Apache dot Maven plugins. Next Maven, I can copy this also. Can copy this part. Okay. Then I'll say plugin. Then I'll say plugins. And I'll say build. I'll close them. So these plugins are helpful to, for example, if I add this plugin, so using this plugin, I can compile. I can enable the compile phase of the project. Now, once I add this compile, you know what I'll do, you see what I'll do. Here I'll do like this in my version. I go to the project, I'll say MVN compiler compile. Okay, this is compiler plugin, and this is the life cycle of the project. That is in the default life cycle, the phase of the project. Now, if I do like this, what I'll do, you see, it will compile now. You see, it will compile the project. Now you see. So I got some error here. What is that error? There is no POM in this project. Okay. You have to go to CD. Wherever the POM is there, you have to go. Now you see pom.xml is here. Now you execute that command. So wherever the pom.xml is there, in that path, you have to execute this. Now what it will do? Why it is so? Okay, you have to close the tag right here. Sir. This is the starting tag, and this is the ending tag, right? Now you see here. Now if I compile, now you see build success. Now it is compiled. Whatever the test.java is there, this file. This is your main file, right? This app.java got compiled. And where it is stored? It is stored in target folder. In the classes, you see com test group. You see you got app.class. How you got this app.class? From .java, this compiler plugin compiles. It will enable this phase, compile phase. How we have done? We have given the command like this. MVN compiler :compile. So when I give like this, so this will, so what this does is, so MVN compiler compile. So MVN compiler compile enables. Okay. So that means this is a plugin we added. In pom.xml, we added a plugin. How we added? Like this we added. We added the plugin. In pom.xml, we added the plugin. We added the compiler plugin. Now, when I say in the command prompt MVN compiler compile, what we are telling is, we are telling Maven to run the compiler plugin to run the compiler plugin for compile phase, compile build life cycle phase. To the compile build life cycle phase. So when we give the command is what compile build life cycle will do. Compile build life cycle will compiles the source code inside the project. Now, so compile build life cycle, what it does? Compile compile build life cycle phase will compile, instead of compile build life cycle, say compile phase only. Okay. Compile phase will compile .java files to .class files with the help of compiler plugin. With the help of compiler plugin. Understood? Now the .class files will be stored in the target folder in classes folder. Target folder inside classes folder. Now you see, so this is your target, then classes, inside classes. So here, in the target, okay, in the target, inside classes, all your class files will be stored, all compiled class. Now, if I refresh this project also, already this project is in Eclipse, right? If I refresh here, so you got a target folder here generated. So this target is where? Under the project. See, it is parallel to SRC. Okay, demo Maven project, SRC and target are parallel. They are in the demo Maven project, main project. In target, if you open, okay, Maven is not Eclipse here. You have to enable showing class files, but if you go to the folder path, you can see target classes, com test group, you can see .class file. You got an idea right now? So what is plugin and what is life cycle of phase? So with the help of plugin, we'll be able to achieve that goal. So suppose I want to actually enable compile phase. So I'll take the help of compiler plugin and compile the Java files. So we are telling to Maven. So when I give like this, we are telling Maven to run compiler plugin for compiling. So where I enabled compiler plugin? In my pom.xml. In pom.xml, I enable the compiler plugin like this. Okay. Now when I give like this, so what I'm telling now? We are telling Maven to run compiler plugin for a compile phase. So what compile phase will do? Compile phase, we have seen this here. Compile phase compiles the source code inside the project, similar to Java C. Okay. Here we'll select this. Compiles the source code inside the project and converts to .class files. .class files and put in the target folder. That's what compile phase is. Understood, everyone? Everyone understood this part? Whatever we covered now till now. Okay, Google Classroom link. I don't know why. See, I'll show you. See, this is your Google Classroom. One minute. Let me open. See, can you see my screen? See, here I uploaded all the things. So people, if you see, I think these are the people. Yeah, you have to check with the admin. I don't know. You have to check with the admin why your name is not. You have to check with everyone I'm sending. Okay, then. Shall we see tomorrow? Okay, then. Tomorrow we'll see. Okay. So everyone understood, right? Thank you all.